What we did first is an imaging game and how we can convey their concept. So we made a pilot movie, the CZ computer graphic movies. This is a lightweight 3D movie, and Mr. Ueda and an assistant that made it. So 1.5 personnel spent 4 months. Let me show you some movie, the pilot movie.